Hi everyone, welcome to this video. We are going to look at the 3 newest Anastasia Beverly Hills makeup items that have been released, starting with the Soft Glam eyeshadow palette. So this palette has 14 shades in it, mattes and shimmers, and it's supposed to give you, like it suggests, a soft glam look. There's also a limited edition highlighter that has been released, and it's supposed to give you a seamless, radiant finish. There is also a set of new powder bronzers that she has released. This is also supposed to give you a seamless look on the skin, and these are matte bronzers. So I'm very excited to test these out for you. If you want to see how these apply in real time, I'm going to do a full tutorial using all of these products and give you my final thoughts at the end. If you want to see a more in-depth review of the products that's written after I test these out over several days, I will post that on the website at allurabeauty.com, and I will have links to those reviews in the description box below. So please go check those out if you have more specific questions about how the formula wears over time, etc. And as always, a link in the description box to where you can purchase these items if you liked them and are interested in purchasing them, as well as a link to the blog sale. I hope you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on videos like this. Make sure you go check out the recently published videos too. And without further delay, let's get looking at the new Anastasia Beverly Hills makeup items. All right, so I have already applied my foundation and setting powder and a blush. I used some Flower Cosmetics products as well as some Butter London products. If you haven't seen the swatch video for the Butter London Glazing Collection, make sure you go check that out. And the upcoming video for the new Flower Beauty products now available through Ulta. Please go check them out, especially if you like the look of this foundation. I really think that that video will interest you. It's a try on and review of a whole bunch of the new Flower Beauty products. I put my brows on, put my concealer on. So let's start, I guess let's just go ahead and start with the eyes using the palette. So here's the Soft Glam eyeshadow palette. This retails for $42, and this has a like velvet feeling palette, or packaging I should say. It opens up like this. As usual, it has a mirror inside, and you get 2 rows of shades here. The bronze shade in mine came a little bit cracked, but definitely workable. So I've already primed my eyes. Let's start with Tempera, which is this very first shade over here. It looks like it's satiny. Maybe I won't start with that. Maybe I'm gonna start with Orange Soda because it's a matte shade. I want something to put all over the lids to apply the other shades on top so that it's nice and smooth and blends effortlessly. So with a large fluffy blush, just lightly applying this through the crease on most of the lid space. Then with a normal size blending brush, I'm going to take Burnt Orange, which is also a matte shade, but it is more on the brown side, still slightly cool toned, matte, warm toned brown shade. And that's going in the crease as the main crease shade. And I'm just going to go back and forth and blend and buff this out so that it's smooth. Then with a smaller, more tapered blending brush, I'm going to take Rustic, which is more neutral brown and also a deeper shade, and I'm going to go in a more thin line in the crease. I'm going to take a mix of those 2 shades, Burnt Orange and Rustic, and connect the bottom lash line to the upper outer V. I'm going back to the normal size blending brush after wiping off the product from it. I'm just going to take it through the crease to blend my previous crease colors together, trying to make it seamless and blend nicely. Alright, so for the main lid, I'm going to go in with Rose Pink and put that all over the mobile lid. And just in the center of the lid, I'm going to apply bronze there. And I'm going to try to blend out these edges. I'm going back in with some more product, but I've spritzed my brush with some water mixed with glycerin to use a foiling method to make this bronze shade pop. You could probably do this with pretty much all of the metallics in this palette. Then I'm going to go back with the brush that I used to apply the rose pink. I'm going to go back over there just to try to blend these edges. Just going back and forth, blending those borders of the colors. Then with the teeniest pointed blending brush, I'm going to take Cypress Umber. It's a deep matte chocolate shade, and I'm going to put this in the outer V. I'm going to buff that out with a clean brush. That shade was super pigmented. I did use a really dense brush, so that also contributes to it giving off a lot of color. But I want to use a clean brush to buff it out. That bronze shade has a lot of flyaway glitter and some fallout, although I don't really see it on my cheeks, I just see it going in the air. So just be aware of that. You may want to do your foundation last. It's probably a good idea to do that with most eye looks anyway. One more time with that bronze shade. This shade is not sticking to the lids super well. So even with foiling, I'm having to go back in. And for the inner corner, mostly on the lower lash line, I'm going to apply this shade Fairy. It has a similar yellow tone to bronze, so I feel like it'll match well. And finally, I'm going to put Tempera, this first shade here, just right underneath the brow bone. This is not a matte shade, but the shimmer is on the subtle side. If it were more shimmery, I wouldn't apply it underneath the eyebrows. But I feel like, yeah, it's subtle enough to just highlight that area. Okay, so there is the eye look completed with mascara applied and my liner done. So let's move on to the other two Anastasia products that have released. She's released the highlighter. It says Amrezi highlighter, and that is what the packaging looks like, very cute. And then she also has a powder bronzer in the shade, well, there are multiple shades, but I picked up the shade Rich Amber, following the suggestions in skin tone and skin depth that are on the Sephora website. So this is what the highlighter looks like. And there you can see that wave pattern on there. And the Rich Amber bronzer, this is a matte bronzer. This is what that looks like. I'm a little worried that this is a little too warm toned, but we will go ahead, and if I'm going to use it truly as a bronzer just on the cheeks as opposed to a contour, then I'm fine with this. And each of these retails for $28. For the bronzer, I'm going to use a very large fluffy fan brush. Yeah, this is definitely, it definitely has like sort of a reddish tone to it, which I think is beautiful for some overall bronzing. I'm actually really liking this. Like I said, I was a little worried, but this looks beautiful on the skin. Okay, so that's the face bronzed up a little bit. I'm gonna go in with my Lorac Pro palette and contour just a little bit with some ashy tones. I wasn't expecting to be that excited about this bronzer, but I really, really like the way it looks on the skin. I'm not even gonna apply any blush. I did apply some of that Butter London jelly blush underneath powder before I set my face, but I'm gonna leave it with that plus the bronzing on the cheeks. And then I'm gonna go in with the highlighter. And this is a small fluffy brush from Senna Cosmetics. And this is a very pale gold shade. Hopefully you can see the difference between that cheek and that cheek. This is the type of formula where if you use it dry and with a fluffy brush like this, and you kind of press and buff into the skin, you will get a more diffused and more subtle effect on the cheeks. If you layer it up, it's gonna look a little less refined, like there's a little more grit and texture to it, but you'll get a much stronger impact also. For my lips, I applied one of the Padma lipsticks from the MAC collaboration collection with her. So if you have not checked that video out, it should either have just been published or be published right after this video. If it's already published, I will link it in the upper section below so you can click on it. Make sure you go check out that collection too. This look, I'm digging. I don't know that I was super excited about the new Anastasia items. I don't know that Anastasia, I know everyone loves the quality of those products, but personally speaking, I don't have any like holy grail things from Anastasia, but I am very pleasantly surprised by how much I like this bronzer. I think that is the item that I like most out of the three things, and I thought that I was going to be least impressed by this. I was just thinking, another powder bronzer or whatever, but it looks beautiful on the skin. I think this is a wonderful match for my NC20 in the summer kind of 25 skin, which means I have light skin with yellow undertones. The runner-up would be the Soft Glam palette. I think it's a beautiful palette. I don't think that this is the greatest palette for someone who is a new makeup user or even an intermediate makeup user, because the shades are pretty intensely pigmented. Even the shimmering shades, you know, there is a good amount of fallout. These aren't super tightly packed shades, so you're gonna get kick up, you're gonna get fallout, you're gonna have to cope with those kinds of things. Especially you saw with the Cypress Umber shade in the outer V, like it's really intense, so you need to spend the extra time to buff it out to make it look seamless, and you can't have a super heavy hand. So I think that it is more suited to people who are more experienced with using eyeshadows and applying them. Personally, the least exciting to me is the highlighter, not because it's bad, but I just think that it's not that unique. I don't think that there's something super high quality about the formula, or like I said, innovative about the formula. So let me know in the comment section below what you think of this look, what you think of any of these items if you've already used them. I really hope this was helpful to you if you were debating on whether to invest the money on these products. I know they're a little bit on the expensive side, so if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.